Stories are what people remember. Real, authentic, transparent stories. My friends at OSM Aviation Academy asked me to create some videos that would encourage young men and young women to pursue their dream of becoming a pilot. Maria and Victor graduated from OSM in 2012 as commercial airline pilots and have been flying Boeing 737s ever since. So I spent some time getting to know them, and we hung out in Spain and in Sweden, and I asked them to share with you their stories. So this is for anyone out there who is thinking about becoming a pilot. So instead of a typical interview, I showed them images and stories from their own Instagram. Stories about studying, working, and living as a pilot. I wanted them to share with you things that were difficult, things that were fun, things they were learning, and things that were challenging. Hopefully one of these stories will inspire you to go and create your own story. This is part 1, study.
Oh, so little.
Yep.
Look at you.
That's me, little me.
What airplane is that?
That is an Avro RG100, 85, something like
Tell
that.
me anything, yeah.
Yeah, thumbs up over there, great. This was a field trip that OSM Aviation Academy took us on to see Braathens Aviation's airplanes in Bromma Airport. So we got to enter the flight deck with the pilots, and they were showing us around, and we were all super excited. And this was my first time ever in a real big flight deck.
Yeah, this is before you get to fly the actual airplane, and before you go even in the simulator, you start with these paper airplanes. So you basically sit there and just act like you're in the airplane and trying to learn all the flows, all the procedures, the checklists and everything. It's a lot of work, but it's so much fun because you're this close to actually getting to fly the airplane. That was fun, yeah.
I remember this moment. I was studying my ATP Theory while working at the Air Traffic Control Academy in Sweden. It was super busy and I was there working on the computers, but as soon as I had 2 minutes break, I was down with the books, studying for my exams, and then back to work, down in the books, back to work. It was good fun. It was a busy time, but it was worth it and a good memory. Oh, Captain Christian, that's my partner. We did the MCC training together, so the multi-crew cooperations, because before that we were only flying the Cessnas, which are single pilot operated. But in the end of our training we need to do the multi-pilot training, and as you saw here, we were building our own 737 in my student dorm with a TV and flight simulator and whatnot. We had a great time. We learned a lot.
Very ambitious.
Yeah. I'm a nerd, I know.
Oh, oof. You remember this time of the year? Yeah. This was the time when you did the final exams. So a lot of hard work and time putting to this. Yeah, wow.
It's all glorified flying and flight school, but you have to remember it's a lot of studying, but it's the best part of your life, and you just have to get through this, and with the motivation you'll do it. And then you eventually
looking at this is like, oh, it's mixed feelings, you know. It's like it was so much work, but then in the end it's so worth it. Like, finally, and after those exams, you're done. I had my CPL.
This was the biggest day of my life. The biggest day of flight training. Because this is when me, Oscar, and Henrik, we did our CPL, the commercial license skill check. And all 3 of us, we passed. So we got our first wings, and that's the one you can see right there on the chest.
Oh, you do look proud, don't you?
We were so proud at that moment. Okay, this was another proud moment of my flight training. This was actually, let's say, the end of my flight training, because I did flight school and then the type rating, and the end of the type rating you do the base training, which is the touch and goes with the real Boeing 737. It's the coolest experience you'll have as a pilot, and this is during my absolute first landing in a real Boeing 737 airplane, and my friend, he captured it, and yeah, great moment. I'm super proud of this one.
Hey,
Ooh.
that's you and
That's
me.
a long time ago. So this was our first international flight ever, and I have a good memory of that flight actually.
Tell me.
Because I remember when we were checking the weather for departure, it was maximum crosswind limitations of the Cessna. And I was kind of nervous because it was my first flight out of flight school. I was like, should we wait until it gets calmer? And Maria says, we are commercial pilots. We can handle this. I never forget that one. And I was like, hell yeah, we are. Let's go.
So we went for it?
Yeah, we took off. Everything went well, and here we are, yeah.
Well done, commercial pilots.